Do, 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 do.
I heard that.
I do that every morning or when I listen to you.
That is so funny. Let me, it's funny because I was going to start the show with a formal, me welcoming everybody, and then, I heard the toot, and that totally threw me off my loop. Welcome everyone to this evening conversation here at Coffee and Headlines. Today, I'm so very thrilled to have my dear friends and a wonderful couple that anybody should know. Kathleen and Todd Atkins of Licks. How are you guys doing?
Doing good.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's always fun to see Paco. Yeah.
Aside from oh my God. It's funny because comments are already coming in. Mark who follows us in the morning says, I hope you brought ice cream for everyone. Well, I'm not so sure about that. We thought about it, but we will definitely have a little bit of conversation. We'll have an opportunity for people to ask questions. And we're also going to have a giveaway during this broadcast, which makes me very excited. But before we get into all these details, I want to thank all the people that are joining us, and more people will be joining us, I hope. And I also want to thank our friends that will be watching this interview on YouTube. You won't have a chance to comment live, but we very much appreciate your thumbs up if you enjoy the conversation. So, Kathleen and Todd, how are you guys doing? How is life? How is your health? How is everything?
Going good.
Yeah, we're very fortunate. I mean, we were talking a little bit beforehand how it's been, if you have a business here in a tourist town with the whole pandemic, it's been tough. I mean, mentally, it's been very difficult. We've been very fortunate that we've done okay, and so we're lucky. But I can tell you that mentally, it's been a little tough.
We have a great staff too, and that makes a big difference. And we really we feel like they're our family in the South here. So we owe a lot to our staff, and we appreciate them greatly.
Mm-hmm.
How do you, as long as we're talking about the here and now, and I want to go back in a second, but as long as we're in the here and now, how are you finding yourselves recharging your batteries in the context of everything that's going on?
Acting. Well, I love acting, so that's why I get to pull him in to do the Licks commercials, and so I do that and just singing. I love singing, wakens me up, and dancing. And how about you?
Well, not to blow smoke up your backside there, Paco, but as I've told you before, you definitely have been very helpful and inspirational in helping me through some of the tough times too. And it's always been fun listening to you and talking with you.
That's true. It's like family in the morning. And if I can't make it to your live show in the morning, I'll always listen to it later. And it's always comforting. It's like, oh, there's my family. I need to see what's going on with family today. And with the news.
I can totally relate to, because and it's a strange place to be, because we're getting to know some of the people in the morning broadcast. I'm sure you are too, because I'm sure that people are stopping by your shop. But there's a certain sense of comfort in knowing that one is going to wake up every day except for Sundays and know that a bunch of really nice people are going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
But let's rewind the tape. Tell me a little bit about how you connected with Puerto Vallarta and when.
Well, for many years, we were trying to figure out where we could retire to. And we had this big desire to get out of the country. And we'd been, Panama and Thailand and all over Southeast United States and the Caribbean. And nothing really felt like home until we came here. And
it was my first time. We were on vacation in May 2016. Yeah. And after 4 days, we fell in love, and we knew this is where we need to be.
Yeah. 6 months later, we had sold everything and packed up our car and moved down here with our two dogs at the time.
Mm-hmm. The
How-
show that inspired us, to be honest, was House Hunters International, because we would always watch that show in our home in Chicago, and we'd watch it and say, "Oh man, I wish that was us. I want to do that. I wish it was us."
No,
I
we
hate
said,
those
I hate those people. I hate those people. They're living the life I want to live.
And
And
then
you
we
ended
were
up in House Hunters International.
we ended
Yeah.
up on the show.
We'll get to that in a second. Take me to the moment in which you sat, well, I hope you were sitting down, and you told one another, what if we lived here? Can you
We
remember
were-
that moment?
Oh,
Yes, yeah. We
Mm.
were staying in Old Town in building V399, and we were on the rooftop. I was doing yoga. It was the fourth morning, and Todd was sitting on the side reading a book. And I was doing yoga, and I could hear roosters. I could hear the city come alive. I could see the ocean. I could see the sun coming up above the mountain. And after I did yoga, I just turned around. And I said, "Hey, Todd, I feel like I could live here." And he said, "I feel the same way." So we just got the chills, and that was it. That was it.
Oh, and what happened then? I mean, how much time went on between
Yeah, that
you
was
were
like
moving and you came here?
So I had to give my partner notice to find somebody to replace, because I was overseeing. I owned a chain of Dunkin' Donuts, and I was kind of the operations manager for it. And my partner, I wanted to give him time, and she needed to give her work notice, and so we had to sell a house, and so a lot of little hoops to jump through. But within 6 months, we had it all done, and we were coming down here, and we thought we were going to buy Licks in the chocolate business that we had, but we didn't know for sure, because we couldn't come to an agreement until we actually got here and worked it out in person.
Yeah,
So
but we were moving anyway.
we were coming anyway. Yeah, we're going to figure out something.
So you talked about 6 months about getting your act together. What kind of knowledge can you share with people that may be in a similar boat, moving to Puerto Vallarta, not even thinking about a business just yet, but 6 months prior to your move? What were the things that you learned? What were the do's and don'ts that you learned from during that time?
Well, one of the things that I've done in my corporate job was I was a project manager. So I had a big project spreadsheet, and the biggest deal was our stuff, what to do with our stuff. And we brought a lot of stuff down, which I know a lot of people don't. And I think for me, it was the right thing to do. And I think we brought a little too much stuff, and now we don't have it, but then we bought other stuff. So I don't know. I feel like that's the biggest thing, and making sure that we had an attorney here, an immigration attorney, because we wanted to make sure that we did everything correctly. And so I think those two things for me.
I would just recommend bringing less stuff, but we do have a good mover if anybody needs help with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and I have a website which I have a project plan that you could follow, and the movers and all that kind of stuff, just to help people get started.
I got to say hi to Jody and Steve, and
Oh, hey,
mom and dad are out
and
there.
my mom and dad.
Go right ahead. Is this?
Oh, Sherry's here.
No, absolutely. Is this a relative? Tom Goforth says hi, Kathleen and Todd.
That's,
and Paco Mom. Is
that's
that a
my
what?
dad. That's my mom and dad in Chicago, in Orland Park.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. So I'll make a deal with you guys. Let's play a little game, because you and I have several things in common. One of the things that we have in common is getting here with a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Well, you called it stuff. I call it shit. I'm going to tell you one thing that I traveled with me, that came with me to Puerto Vallarta, and you're going to laugh. And I want to know, in exchange, one thing that you brought that you now think to yourself, why on earth would I bring that? And I must say that one of the things that I carried with me from Boston 20 years ago when I moved here was my Cuisinart ice cream making machine. I mean, of all the things in my luggage, I've carried a freaking ice cream making machine of all things. Can you think of something that you brought with you that now you look at it and you say, what the hell was I thinking?
Yes, I brought, well, we traveled down here with our 2 greyhounds, and I brought 8, no, was it 8 or 10 dog beds? And their dog beds are huge. So it was, so that was mine.
I got to say hi to Gary and Amy too.
Oh, hey. Hey, Gary. Hey, Amy.
Absolutely. You know, I also carried, here's another one that I brought that I wish I'd known better. When I was back in Boston, I did a lot of cycling, long distance cycling. I did a lot of cherry rides and stuff like that.
Yeah.
When I moved to Puerto Vallarta, I got here with shorts, with helmet, with shoes, with cleats, with everything. I thought, you know, I'm going to commute back and forth to work just as I used to do it in Boston. And little did I know that was not destined to happen. Is there anything else that you brought with you that ended up just stored away?
Oh, lots of stuff.
Scuba gear.
Scuba gear and rollerblades, because I for sure was going to rollerblade in Puerto Vallarta. I rollerbladed all over Manhattan when I lived there, but here, no way.
I think I would pay dear money to watch you rollerblade to Puerto Vallarta, Kathleen. That's for sure. So, you know, it's, you know, a lot of people take time to do these things. And in a very short amount of time, not only did you move here, but you've embarked in businesses. You had a chocolate shop, and now you have an ice cream shop. What can you tell other people that are thinking, well, you know, I knew how to do business in the United States or Canada or wherever, and then you come here and you start doing business in Mexico. Is it very different? Is it similar?
There are some similarities. Some things are easier. Some things are more frustrating. Just like banking here and saving your receipts and getting a factura so that you can write it off your taxes. It's much more difficult, but getting a business up and going is much easier here than it is in the States. And I think it's actually cheaper to get a business going here, less red tape and inspections and things to go through. But the day-to-day stuff it might be a little more difficult here, but she takes care of all that part, so I don't really care.
I think the toughest part probably overall to have a business here, a product business, is supplies, because sometimes they're just out of supplies. I mean, we have very specific milks and creams and butter and, you know, the fine quality that we choose for our homemade ice cream. And sometimes we'll go to the store and there's no milk, or there's no cream, or so it's a scramble. That's the hard part, I think, because you never think, like, that's not something you think about in the US when we were there. You know, as far as getting products that I wanted or different brands that I wanted, it's very easy in the US to get things that you want, or, you know,
it's getting easier though.
It is getting easier.
And Amazon Mexico are becoming really good for that. But
that's true. In the 5 years that we've been here, I can definitely shop much more on Amazon.
Now, when it comes to the business part of it, though, has the lack of certain supplies encouraged you to think creatively about what you do?
Oh, of course. Yeah. Yeah. You've got to find multiple sources for your raw ingredients just in case. And, you know, at certain times of the year, especially between Christmas and New Year's, there's such a large influx of visitors. And also a lot of the trucking shuts down because they go on holidays. And so you got to really stock up. I mean, we've got extra refrigerators and extra freezers. And every year we think, all right, we're going to get more. And we inevitably run out of something. And it's, oh, yeah.
But it's fun. It's fun having a business here. I mean, if you are a business person, you could do it here. You could do it anywhere. I mean, it's just, you'll figure it out. And what I think is so interesting about business here is that the normal fluctuations, usually with tourist season and then a little less tourist season, and just the even the different type, you know, in the summertime, we get a lot of nationals here in the summertime, and less people from the US and Canada. And then over the winter, there's a lot of people here from the US and Canada. And it's just interesting to see the flow, the ebb and flow of a tourist.
We even change our
town.
flavors of ice creams and such depending upon the season, because the nationals like things like mame or something that the gringos don't know what it is, and a lot of them won't even try. And so it's really fun that we've learned to change some of our flavors around depending on the season.
Right. And now that we have 3 stores, we noticed that some flavors do well in one store and may not do well in the other, or vice versa. So we try to keep the same flavors in all stores, though, because if you're a customer and you go to one of our stores, I think you expect to see the same flavors pretty much in all stores.
I see I'm grateful that people are adding cues to their question, as we do in the morning broadcast. And even though we're going to do question and answer later on, there's a very timely question here from Colleen. Did you both speak Spanish when you moved to PV? And let me add to that, how has Spanish either improved your business, your life? What's your experience with Spanish? ¿Qué onda? ¿Qué está pasando?
Yeah, well, we knew so little Spanish when we moved here, which was tough, especially because we drove down. And so because of that, we ended up on a free road. We didn't know what free meant. And, we moved here and we would go to a little restaurant, like even a Carl's Jr. or whatever. We didn't even know how to order. We kind of had to point. And we've been studying. Todd's actually a lot better than I am, but we have finally started taking private lessons in the past three months or so. And I think it's very important to learn Spanish here, living in Mexico.
But I have 2 helpers in the kitchen and they don't speak English. And so I've been forced to learn kitchen Spanish. So I learned all kinds of swear words and
Okay, can you demonstrate?
No.
Okay,
Parents are watching.
Come on.
Punta madre.
Okay. I can see a lot of ice cream melting and all of a sudden you rolling your eyes and going, puta madre. Yeah, I can imagine that. Now, tell me about your social life, because prior to moving here, you were probably here only on vacation. How did you start making connections with new friends?
Well, it was pretty easy. Actually, we made probably too many friends at first because we were on House Hunters International. So there was a lot of people that would seek us out. And we also, at the time, we had the chocolate and the ice cream when we first took over the businesses. So we were working in the kitchen and we sold chocolate out of our kitchen. So a lot of people would come ask us about the chocolate and ice cream. And so we met tons of people because of that.
But we were at the market on Saturday too.
Oh, yeah.
So a lot of people stop by and say hi. But so I feel like we've made so many more friends being here than we ever did in Chicago. I always call it the garage community because we were in the suburbs and everybody would drive home, open their garage with their remote, drive their car in, close the door, and we'd never see them again. And here it's so different. Everybody's out walking around all year round and we run into people and even if we just stop at one of our stores and we enjoy talking to people and getting to know them and where are you from and thanks for coming in. And, we really do appreciate everybody that comes in and enjoys our art. And it makes us feel good and to see people enjoying it.
And I also think it's fun. Like Todd said, we're outside a lot here, which we both love. I love being out in nature. And even if we're not close friends with someone, but we'll see them at the grocery store, or it's just fun to see a lot of people that we know.
Yeah. Do you have any words of advice for anybody that is new in town and is trying to find creative ways to get to know other people in the community? Because I mean, you have been in a lucky position by having a business, because that makes meeting people almost inevitable. What would you say to people that moved here for whatever reason, are not necessarily in business and would like to branch out and meet more quality friends? Do you have any words of advice?
Yeah, there's so many opportunities here. There's so many places you can get involved with. There's pickleball leagues. There's, even though Paco's not involved, there's bicycling clubs. There's charities that you can get involved. We have some very good friends that work with an orphanage that Kathleen's doing some work with now. And I did the What a Drag show last year, and for a battered women's shelter. And anything you're interested in or would like to help, you can find it here, and you can be as busy as you want or as laid back as you want. I would just encourage people that come here, find something to do though, because it can be very easy to get caught up into just going out and having drinks every day. And then we see people like that too. And I feel like they're missing out on really enjoying and getting to know the town. And it's just my perception. Not that I'm passing judgment people that just go out drinking every day, but there's lots to do. And I think people sometimes move thinking they're going to start a brand new life, but wherever you go, there you are. And you're going to have the same problems and the same, we talk to friends back home and they're like, oh, that's so great. You get to wake up in paradise every day. And I'm like, yeah, it's paradise, but we're still working. We still have family. We still have parents. We still have problems.
It's daily ups and downs of life. It still is. It's just that we have a lot more free time now compared to what we used to have. We have a lot more friends that we do things with. We have a lot more close friends. And we just have such an opportunity to be outside a lot, which is really a nice blessing. And to meet amazing people, learn a new language and culture has been quite an experience.
Let me rewind the tape just a second, because I knew I wanted to talk to Todd about What a Drag. For those of you, oh yeah. For those of you that don't know, What a Drag is one of the most innovative fundraising efforts here in town, where heterosexual men like you are encouraged to put that away for a few hours and learn how to walk in high heels and put on a dress and go on full drag for a series of challenges. Or how was that? What went on?
Well, it's a big show, and usually there's a half dozen guys that are in drag, and it's very professional. I have to give a shout out to Stephen Retchless, who was my fairy drag mother, and the makeup was amazing. And we had to do a couple group numbers and dance routines, and then you had to do kind of a talent show portion. And it was a lot of work last year. It was very different because it was all virtual basically because of COVID, but I had a good time. It was fun.
I did too.
I'm a one and done girl, so I donated my
I remember you
donated
posting,
my shoes to Paul.
I remember you posting photos and videos rather of you learning how to walk in high heels. Was that challenging?
I want to say yes, but maybe it just comes natural. I don't know. No, I
just want to shout out. I say hi. I see Gina from Whiskey Kitchen. So hey, Gina. And
we love Gina.
Lisa.
We love Gina. We love her food. Have you eaten at
gosh.
Gina's place?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I went to Gina's restaurant just before the end of the year, and I have to get my fix. It's all like really American food that I don't crave on a regular basis, but I absolutely love it from time to time. How is your experience with Mexican food? Do you enjoy it?
Oh, love it. Yeah. Yes, we love it. Tacos, enchiladas.
She has some allergies and some difficulty eating shellfish and some seafood, so I love going for the fish tacos and shrimp quesadillas and things like that when I can, because
I can eat fish though. And they went fishing. Was it yesterday?
Yesterday, yeah.
And we ate the fish they caught. Like you can go to, what's the restaurant? Cuetos?
Cuetes and Cuentos, or
Cuates y cuetes.
yeah.
Oh,
It's on the beach.
good
You
Spanish, Todd. Good Spanish.
So you take the fish, they cooked it. Oh my God, it was amazing.
That's
Yeah.
wonderful.
It was a big birthday celebration for one of our friends.
For Billy, yeah.
Yeah. So
That's great. Now, Kathleen, you talked about acting and singing recently, and I also know that that you have been part of a talent show audition. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. Well, it's part of the Rise is one of the organizations here in Puerto Vallarta for children. And so Lisa and Billy, who coordinated this whole event, it's Rise. It's kind of like America's Got Talent. So any kind of talent could come on board and compete. And so I competed for the auditions and I made it through. Woo!
Yay!
Larlene made it through. So my character Larlene is in it and she's doing a skit. She has a special talent, which I cannot share yet. But if you want to come to the show, it's January 30th. The audience gets to vote also. And you will see Larlene's special talent. I will say that I have seen a few of this. There's singers. There's a lot of singers. There's some very talented people here.
Now, let me ask you something, because I mean, Larlene doesn't sing that I know of. And
yeah, not that you know of.
And for those people that don't, let me just give a little bit of context here. You have a blog, and on your blog, you record these monologues in which it's Larlene speaking, and she's a very different gal from you. Where did she come from?
Oh,
no, that's her deep down inside.
That's me. Well, that's my dad's family. So they are from the South. They're from Southern Illinois and Kentucky. And I grew up with that. So my mom's family's in Japan. So I didn't, I saw them a couple times in my life, but my dad's family is what I grew up around when I was little.
And the funny thing is, we found out we actually our families came from the same area of Kentucky, so we might be related. So we're not having any children, just to be on the safe side. And we're not digging into that family tree too much. Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say something really slutty and vulgar, but I'm not going to do it.
We're used to that. Why not?
Well, I was going to say, Todd, if you want to try having children, I can help. No. I'm just kidding. Okay. Well, Kathleen, you're looking fabulously beautiful. So I wouldn't even dare to ask for Larlene to say hello. But I do know that you happen to have a couple of tickets because you have a semifinal or an event that's coming up. Tell me about that.
Yes, the it's called the preliminaries, and there are 6 preliminaries. My preliminary is on January 30th, which is on a Sunday at 3:00 p.m. Central Time. It's at Encanto. I don't
may change,
know.
but
It may change. I don't know if they're doing online as well. I'm not sure about that.
I think so.
Are they? Okay.
Yeah.
And the audience gets to vote as well. And and the host is Effie Pissarro, which she's like, her voice is unbelievable. She's amazing, but she's the host. So I don't know if she's going to sing.
I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm the stage mother. Yeah.
So it'd be great if everyone could show up and support the kids, because all the tickets that you buy and the donations that you make, they go to all of these children. And these children were actually abused, or they were not in a great situation. So it's a really great cause.
Somebody did ask if it was COVID friendly, and I believe it is. So they're limiting the number of people that can get in. It's not a big, so it's people. Yeah.
And we have 2 tickets for your semifinal to give away, correct?
Correct.
Well, let's get that show on the road for everybody or anybody that's watching. If you want to participate on 2 tickets that are going to be given away, all you have to do is write the hashtag licks and write it just like that, &licks. And once you do that, we will do a little drawing in a little while. And this is for 2 tickets to be able to attend this event in which Larlene or Kathleen is going to compete for the possibility of moving on to a final. Are there a lot of non-singers participating?
They've been trying to get a couple magicians. I don't know how many they got. I think there was some dance groups, singers and musicians.
And then an actor.
Redneck actor.
let me do a good deed in all fairness. Albert, you wrote an at and not an ampersand. So if you want to participate, just make sure that you use the proper symbol. Otherwise, you will not be registered by the drawing.
I saw a question. Someone asked how Todd and I met. And
well,
go ahead. Go ahead.
Let's rewind and let's take a look at some questions that may have come in.
I'm going to go get a picture of my character.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Let's see. We've asked, goodbye. We've asked you how you came to Puerto Vallarta, so we can skip that. Let's see what else we have. We know that mom and dad are watching. Let's see. Colleen asked about Spanish. Did you both speak Spanish when you moved to PV? I think we talked about that.
I'll do the other one now.
Here's another question from Joe Willis. Have you considered branching out to other cities, towns, or areas, like the Lapa branch, for instance?
We're always open to branching out. At the same time, we keep saying, no, I don't want any more stores because we moved here because we thought we were going to semi-retire. So, I mean, we're always open.
We've been asked to open stores. We met a gentleman who was a developer of malls in Mexico City, and he asked if we would consider letting him franchise, basically. And so we may revisit that at some point. But
yeah.
All right, I got a special treat for you.
Oh, here's a.
Uh-oh. Oh my God. There you are. You look like an ice cream cone, and that is a compliment.
The blueberry lavender.
I love it. Here we go. Mark Colby Peterson, who joins us in the mornings. Hello, Mark. He's asking, how did you guys meet?
We met on Match.com online.
Huh?
Yeah.
And what happened?
Well, I mean,
I had just moved to Chicago and didn't really know anybody, and a friend of mine. It was a weird situation, long story, but we met, we hit it off, and we said, well, let's take this slow. We wanted to get to know each other well, and I don't know, everything just snowballed and went really quick, and then there was no slow. So
there's another question here. How is that's
Nama? She actually just joined us here on the couch. She was doing zoomies before. We tried to wear her out before this because she was barking and doing zoomies. Oh, there she is.
She's a sweetie.
She's a sweetie. She's double the size probably from when you saw her last. When we got her, she was about 7 kilos, and she's over 15 now, which is around 33 pounds.
You had greyhounds previously, and you lost them, and I know that it was very painful. Was it difficult to get Nama into your lives?
No, not at all. We did not want a dog. I think my greyhounds must have sent her because we were not going to get a dog, and we were just volunteering with the SPCA, and she showed up, and that was it. But she's amazing. She's a very joyful, happy dog. And we're very fortunate.
Kathleen, I've always enjoyed how transparent you are about your personal life in your blog. And there is an entry there somewhere that deals with your decision of removing your breast implants. Mm-hmm. How did that come about?
You mean the article, or just how did I decide? Or
how did you decide that it was probably a good idea to get rid of them?
Well, they were in there for about 20 years, and it started to become a little painful. And not only that, but I had some other health issues. I go into details in the article, and So I just knew, I'm like, no, I don't want to get him out because, it's hard because of the perception of how you should look or how your body should appear or things like that. And finally I decided, the voices kept getting stronger that no, you need to get these out. And so I'm like, all right, I'm going to get them out. And once I did, like, these health issues went away, and I feel so much freer, and and it feels really good to be able to learn to accept my body the way I am, and that you can be sexy and you don't have to have a certain size of boobs or whatever. So yeah, it was actually a good experience to go through.
Mm-hmm.
Good learning
I think
experience.
sexy is between your ears more than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. I knew it. Mark is asking if you would consider another dog for a playmate for Nama.
No. Well, it's funny that you asked, because I've always been a person that said, well, I always need at least 2 pets, because then they have a playmate when you're not there. But that was always because we'd be gone to work for 8 hours a day or 9 or 10 hours a day. And I hated the thought of them being at home alone. Well, with Nama, I mean, we take her to work with us. She goes to doggy camp once or twice a week. We take her to the beach and she runs there. So she's with us a lot, or she's out playing with other dogs. So I don't feel that. And it feels really good to have her and to focus on her. And I like it. And it's no for now.
We always say no, but
yeah, you never know.
Before we get into the drawing, because I want to do the drawing for these tickets. Now let's do the drawing now, because I'm excited about the drawing. Let's see. This is actually but let's give people a last chance to write the hashtag licks on the screen. I'm going to wait a minute, and I'm going to ask you. What am I going to ask you? Let me remove that, and let me ask you about, as a follow-up of what you were telling me about your body, where are you getting yourselves what are you doing to stay healthy down here?
Well,
I think the living down here is so much healthier. The food is so much fresher, and it's just, you feel like you're eating better being here.
And being outside.
You're walking around more.
Mm-hmm. And for me, the whole spirituality thing just blew up. I mean, I meet so many people here that are in the spiritual realm, that my spirit and the meditation and all of that, just connection, has really gone through the roof since I've been here.
Do you think Puerto Vallarta makes that easier as a destination?
I do. There are ley lines here, which I don't know a lot about that, but I understand it's a really strong energy connection. Also, there's a lot of spiritual people here and in that realm that I never knew before when I was in Chicago, or it would just everything felt so remote. Even though I have studied it quite a while, it really feels real here. Like, I took a class with Kennedy Morgan and also Deirdre Morgan. They both are here, but they can teach you online or whatever. And I studied Sonia Choquette for many years. But yeah, there's certainly a lot of spiritual people here.
Mm-hmm. Is there something that we haven't talked about yet that you truly would like, or is important for you that people know about yourselves?
I know that for us, we've talked about it. There was many people here when we first moved here, or even before we moved here, that we met while on vacation, that really played a big part in us deciding to make Puerto Vallarta our home. And we owe a big special thanks to them. And we want to kind of continue that. So if anybody else has questions, you can always reach out to us. We're always open. We may not have an answer, but we'll tell you.
We think it's really important to pay back, always pay back.
Pay forward.
Pay forward. Yeah, pay it forward. So Claire at Galleria Dante is one of them.
Payback's what
She's
you do for me.
She is a mountain, and I
Love
mean,
Oh my
Claire.
gosh. Yeah.
It's
So
just-
she's, I mean, the information she gave us has been invaluable. And, you know, and when we were moving down here, just Alan and James and Jean and Tom, and we just met some people on that vacation that almost became instant family that now live down here as well. And we just, I don't know, it just worked. It worked out. When it's meant to be, it's meant to be.
It's kind of like meeting you. It's like
Oh.
our extended family.
Yeah, I think things happen for a reason, especially if you're open to them. I mean, I think for me, the most important thing that people need to know is when you're really excited about something, just do it. I mean, it may not logically sound right. Like financially, we probably never would have moved here because we were doing really well in Chicago, and we're like, it's probably not the best financial decision, but we're so excited inside that we have to do it, and it's the best decision we ever made. So
that's great. Well, I think we can add our draw right now. Let's do the draw. We have 13 entries, and I'm going to push this button that says draw, and something wonderful is going to happen, and the winner is going to be none other than Tanis Olsen.
She's a nurse.
Woo!
My daughter's a nurse.
You are the proud winner of 2 tickets to go watch Kathleen perform at this
how many people
talent competition.
Congratulations, Tanis.
Yes, absolutely, and we will make sure,
Make sure you introduce yourself. I don't recognize the name, so
yeah, I don't recognize the name either, but Tanis stands with nurses. She loves nurses, so I like the Facebook profile button. I like that very much. It's been such a joy to spend some quality time with you guys. I am privileged because there she is, Tanis. Please make sure you send. If you're here in town, and I hope you are, and if you're not in town and you cannot attend the show, I hope you can forward your tickets to somebody that can. But if you're in town, it would be a pleasure to meet you. I'm going to be there as well because I want to be cheering for Kathleen. Any parting thoughts, dear friends?
I see a question. What is your favorite ice cream?
That's right. Joe is asking. What is your favorite ice cream?
I don't have just one for sure. I mean, I probably, if I were to just grab something and go, I grab our cookie sandwiches because those are homemade. They're homemade as well. And oh my God, cookies and ice cream. So I'll grab those. But there are so many flavors I love: the salted caramels, the peanut butter truffle, the blueberry lavender, ginger, cookies and cream. And what about you?
I'm an equal opportunity offender. Yeah, I like them all.
I hear you.
Yeah,
I hear you. And for people that don't know, you have 3 branches of your business. One is on Basilio Vadillo, one is on the Malecón, and the other one is here in Fluvial, just across the street from the new gas station that they put on at Costco.
Yeah.
Are you easily found at any of these 3 branches at any given time, or for people that want to bump into you?
No, well,
Kathleen works at home a lot now because she's been delegating more, which has been really a difficult and a good thing for her to let go of some control. But that kitchen store is by Costco there next to Alcatraz's restaurant. And that's where I am most of the time when I'm in the stores. But we try to stop in the stores. I delivered the ice cream to the stores and supplies. So I always am bouncing around. And
yeah, and there's always things to deliver. So, or we'll go and hang out and have an ice cream or 2.
There you go. Well, Kathleen and Todd, I cannot thank you enough for giving us a glimpse into your journey. I think it's very, very inspiring. I hope it inspires many people, and I hope many people will cross paths with you because this whole notion of paying forward is such an essence of what we do here in Puerto Vallarta.
And always say hi. We like it when people say hi.
Yeah.
Well, don't go anywhere. I want to
Okay.
thank you, but stay put. I will say
Okay.
goodbye to you in a second, but I want to again thank you for having joined us. I think we have great ideas for new people that we can interview in the future. And I know that I'm going to be seeing you sometime in the near future, and I look
Oh, yeah.
forward to that.
Yeah. Thank
All
you so
right.
much for having us, Paco.
It's been a
Bye.
real pleasure. And for those of you that are here with us, it's such a pleasure to have you join us. We are grateful for your questions, for your company, and for the chance to make more connections with wonderful people here in Puerto Vallarta, like Kathleen and Todd. If you don't know, we get together live on Facebook every morning at 10:30 in the morning here at Coffee and Headlines. So feel free to join us some morning. And for those of you that are here because you join us regularly, thank you so very much for being part of our community. We're wrapping things up now. And for those of you that watch Coffee and Headlines, I will see you again tomorrow morning. Have a good one.